What's up, guys? Welcome back to Bell Point Sports. I just got done watching the Sixers Lakers game, but that's not what I'm here to talk to you about today, despite the fact that LeBron just absolutely torched us in the fourth quarter. I'm actually here to talk a little bit about Giannis Antetokounmpo. So without further ado, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to get right into it here. So the Giannis situation in Milwaukee. Obviously, they do whatever they can to keep him happy. They'll sign both of his brothers. They'll bring in a Brook Lopez substitute, basically a younger Brook Lopez with better defense in Miles Turner. They'll trade Chris Middleton at his request to bring in someone younger and more healthy. They'll do whatever they possibly can to keep Giannis happy. But when you can't build a good contending roster around him, it's kind of all irrelevant. And because of that, he wants out, which I understand at this point. It's hard to be loyal to a franchise that isn't giving you back what you probably deserve as a player. But I do wonder if there's something weird going on there. He just had one of the most suspicious non-contact injuries I've ever seen in my life during that game the other day. He just kind of went down randomly, and it didn't look super authentic. I'm not one to question injuries, but I mean, just given what is also going on with him right now, you have to question it a little bit, right? I think that every single team in the NBA that isn't tanking should probably want to be trading for Giannis Antetokounmpo right now. It is a different situation than that, though, because we don't know what that list is, but he has a list, and the Bucks want to honor it, so they're going to send him wherever he wants to go, and that's going to make it a lot tougher and probably make the offers a lot worse. I think we really easily forget how once in a generation a guy like Giannis is, and because of that, I think we just get used to his crazy production just by virtue of him being around. But in reality, a guy like this doesn't come along very often. He's once in a generation. He's probably top 20 all time. And if you can swing on him, how do you not do that? How do you look at yourself and see him on another team and be like, oh, yeah, I didn't even try. That's fine. Like I've been doing with Anthony Davis, with LaMelo Ball, I picked out three of the most interesting places I think he could get sent, and we're going to get right into it. So, an interesting one for Giannis is the Toronto Raptors because I think that he would gel really well with that team, but I don't know if they would be able to do it without offering Scotty Barnes. And I think I would want to keep Scotty Barnes if I was them, truthfully. I mean, me personally, obviously, I would want Giannis, but I feel like the Raptors have been so patient with Scotty so far that I would be very surprised to see them get rid of that at this point in time. But the reason that I think they might do that is because the East is just so unbelievably wide open right now. And swinging on Giannis this year guarantees you a higher playoff spot than you have before you get him. That's just by virtue of how good he is. That's just how it goes. And the Raps have so many solid role players and guys that just complement Giannis' skill set really well. The only problem I see when I look at their roster is the fact that Jakob Poeltl, obviously their starting center, he can't shoot at all. And Giannis really needs a stretch big around him. Brook Lopez had to evolve into a stretch big to be around him. I mean, I think that something would have to change at the center spot should they bring in Giannis. On the other side of things, we could be witnessing the end of the Eastern Conference as we know it if Giannis goes west here. Because it doesn't leave you with a lot of superstars left. It leaves you with Maxey, which as a Philly fan, I'm obviously going to say is a superstar. And it leaves you with Jason Tatum when he's healthy. And I think that's it. Because I think Brunson is an all-star. I don't think he's a superstar. I think that the Heat don't have a superstar right now. I think that the Raptors don't have a superstar right now. I can't really think of one, a superstar, like all NBA type guy. I think it's crazy to think that a lot of them are probably going to come from out west this year. But the Spurs for Giannis have so many assets. And it's crazy because I said the Spurs for Anthony Davis as well. And I think obviously they'd rather have Giannis than AD. But they have said that they don't want to move Harper and they don't want to move Castle. So I think that leaves De'Aaron Fox as the odd man out in terms of who's going to get traded here. It's probably De'Aaron Fox. It's a couple of picks, maybe one of their younger role player type guys or, starter level type guys of Devin Vassell, Sohan, depth for a team that's probably rebuilding after this in the Milwaukee Bucks. It would mean that you're putting Giannis and Wemby together, and that would be so scary defensively and offensively, really. I mean, they're just huge people, and I don't know how you score on them is the big thing. And I also don't know how you defend against them. And on top of that, they would still have their two blue chip top 5 prospects in Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle, who are probably going to blossom into all-star caliber players. And that would just be so scary to have the four of them playing together and still have, the relative depth that the Spurs have. They're not a bad team this year at all. The last team I want to mention is the Atlanta Hawks because I feel like they're set up in a really unique situation in that they have a pick they can give up that essentially has the value of any young player. They can essentially simulate a tanking season by trading this one pick, and it's guaranteed to be top six at worst. Six at worst, one at best, obviously. And that pick is the Pelicans pick that they traded the rights to Derek Queen in this past draft for. Now, Derek Queen's been awesome, but they obviously won that trade. The Pelicans are 3-20 as I record this video. I mean, they're awful. And the pick is completely unprotected, which is very intriguing for a Bucks team that presumably wants to jumpstart a rebuild right now. I would assume they want Jalen Johnson. If they can get the trade done without Jalen Johnson, even if you have to give up Trae Young in that pick, I think you do it and you bring in Giannis. Because then the Bucks can go ahead after this season, and in addition to their own pick, which if they trade Giannis is going to be a high pick, they can go ahead and they can draft a Cameron Boozer or an AJ DeBonsa or a Darren Peterson. Or, I mean, there's so many guys in this draft, it's deeper than it's ever been. So I think that realistically that's the best offer for them. And it also keeps Giannis in the East, which I'm a fan of personally, even though it's not fun for my Sixers. I think it's just good for the league. So that's going to be it for this one. I'm going to come back next time, talk a little bit about the next Sixers game that I watch, and also about the Chris Paul situation, because I think that's a really interesting one that we got to dive into. So yeah, for all those things and more, this was Bell Point Sports. Stay on point, guys.